about to witness the dark side of Lagos real estate.
Real estate is a globally dependable asset class for wealth creation, and an average Nigerian, both home and abroad, work hard with the goal of someday owning a property of their own. Quite a number of these purchases are sometimes for investment purposes, while some people buy with the sole purpose of having a place to call their own. But will it be worth it if these properties are eventually demolished and taken over by the government in the nearest future? You see, the general conviction of a lot of critics is that the government is hell-bent on making an average citizen struggle, creating policies that only favors the rich, and leaving the poor with no opportunity to wealth creation by constantly demolishing their properties and frustrating all their efforts to successful living. But is that actually the case? You are about to find out. There's been several demolitions in Lagos State in the past years, and this has raised a lot of concerns. It even affected investor confidence in the industry a little bit, but things went back to order partially when the tension doused. But the big question still remains: why the demolitions? Lagos, as we all know, is a proclaimed megacity in the making, as predicted by a lot of credible sources. And for the city to attain that megacity status, the state needs to be properly planned, with roads, infrastructures, drainages, and other critical parts of the state structured in a way that environmental plans are not at all contravened. This is the position of the state government. But is that enough justification for the demolitions? Let's dig in a little deeper. Top of the list of the demolitions I would like to talk about is the Mende Villa estate demolition on the mainland sometimes last year. This demolition was done by the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, headed by Mr. Tokunbo Wahab. The ministry claimed that developers of the property demolished had been issued contravention notices since 2021 and another one in November 2023 before the demolition eventually happened. Clarification was made that this demolition was for properties that had encroached on the setback for the System 1 drainage channel, and allowing such contravention to persist could lead to flooding and other disasters that could be easily prevented. This was the position of the commissioner. To get a clearer view of what really went down, let's check the System 1 drainage channel on Google Map. You see, all the highlighted green portion you're seeing there is the System 1 drainage channel as connected to Odoyalaru, and it's expected that people give certain setback from the drainage in order to allow free flow of the drainage. So properties contravening this setback had to be brought down, including some parts of the Mende Villa estate. On the 26th of November 2023, residents living in the Festac area of Lagos were woken up from their deep sleep with caterpillars bringing down their properties. According to the FHA Southwest Zonal Manager, Mr. Akintola, he claims that despite several letters and stakeholder meetings, developers still continue building on the swampy part of the estate without meeting the requirements, and also he noted several encroachments on properties belonging to the FHA, illegal development, and how the entire area is turning into a slum. During one of the stakeholder meetings, he noted that it was agreed that everybody should stop building until all necessary assessment is done. But then people continue building regardless, expecting that they will be able to regularize, unknowing to them that regularization is not automatic. So eventually, when the assessment was done, properties that didn't meet up the regularization requirements had to settle with the fate of demolition. There are several other demolitions, like the Eredu Ekpe demolition, the landmark and other properties brought down because of the coastal road construction, and several other demolitions I can possibly talk about in one video. But who exactly is at fault for this demolition? Is it the government, the developers, or the buyers? Let's dive in a little deeper. In the course of carrying out due diligence for one of our clients' property purchase sometimes last year, we realized the 3 properties we wanted to buy were totally outside the CFO portion of the estate. And people still kept building on this part without considering the consequence. So when I spoke to the guy developing the unit, he explained to me that they have planned to extend the CFO to also cover this new unit. I was totally shocked with what he said because I know that is not at all possible. A similar thing happened to another of our clients. And in this case, the property he intended to buy was 300 meters, even over 300 meters away from what is stated on the document. In this case, the entire area has a gazette, so his own property was outside the gazetted portion, but the document given to him is stating that the property is within the gazetted portion. So when I spoke to the guy developing the property, he explained to me that he did a JV with his uncle, and apparently his uncle was scammed 2018 when he bought the property, as the coordinate stated on the documents given to him belongs to another person's property that is 300 meters away from him. So unknowing to him, he further complicated things by going to perfect the document in his name. So in this case now, he's carrying a document that belongs to another person, and his own land is sitting on a committed part that is outside the gazetted portion. The role of the government as regards strict regulation cannot be overemphasized, as sanity needs to be restored in this industry. And it's also important to note that despite the government always having some justification for this demolition, I think the approach to the demolition can be better than what it used to be. And beyond government regulation, it is my belief that the major responsibility of restoring sanity in this industry rests solemnly on real estate developers and buyers, especially the buyers. Because you've worked hard for that money, it is only logical that you ensure proper due diligence is done before you buy that house of your dream, in order for that dream not to turn into a nightmare if you fall victim of a wrong property. So I ask the question again, is it safe to invest in Lagos real estate? I believe you know the answer to that. It is just very important that you play your part as a stakeholder by verifying before you buy.